Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Delightful Creations by Amber. Today I thought we would pop on and do a binding video on this beautiful little journal that I want to insert a journal folio into my faith journal. So here's the front cover. I've got some butterflies and sunflowers with music paper. On the back side I've got some music paper with a pocket. And then when you open this beauty up, we have lovely textured paper over here as well with a pocket, a flip out, another pocket here with some pretty roses. I continued that theme on into my paper. And then that same green, it has green and pink and it's all glittery. It has a fun texture. When you open that up, and we have that wood grain again with another small pocket over here. And I think we have about 6 or 7 pages, so it's not too awful thick. When you fold everything up and put it into the actual journal, it's probably a good 1/2 inch. So that's going to be my center signature. I love that. This is from a photo book that I took apart. So let's go ahead. I'm going to grab my clips. I have my clips in my jar over here, and I just reach in and I pull out 4 that are not tangled up together. And these are the clips that I need to cover up with some hidden paper clips, or I just, save for these purposes. But they are pretty bright to be using just in your journal as a paper clip to hold stuff in there. So I just go ahead and I do opposite corners on the top, and then I do each of the sides. And again, this is only 6 or 7 pages, so you probably don't need all that. I'm going to just align this up right here in the center and get this stuff out the way. Let's get my needle and find the end of my yarn here, or my embroidery floss. I just had it. I just snipped it off of there and made it, there it is. I got all tangled up and made it so that I could use it. And we're going to just slip that right here into my embroidery needle. You could probably use a bigger needle if you have a harder time threading them. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. That went through beautifully. I pulled my tail out quite a distance, and maybe not that much, and I just leave it together. And even this one, you probably don't have to poke a hole with your awl if you don't want to go through these papers, but my fingers are pretty sore from messing around. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and eyeball that right about here. I feel like is the middle. I'm going to push, push, push. It's not too awful hard with these few pages. I'm going to flip this flap shut and grab a hold of this and pop it in. There we go, just like that. And then I'll grab my needle, hold everything in place, pull it through. Perfect. We're going to do the same thing on the top. I'm going to let my string dangle because I'm not worried about cutting it off. I don't want the hole through that baby's head, so I'm going to come up here and I do my finger measure trick. So here's the line of my finger with the top of my page. I'm just going to pop that right there. And I'm going to push, push, push all the way through. There we go. Grab my needle. Everything should be lined up. I shouldn't have any problems getting that through there. And there we are. Pull my thread right through my papers. Oops, that slipped back out. There we go. Pull that tight. Make sure it's in the center. Wonderful. And then I take my middle string that I did the first time and I pull that up. And then I'm going to grab the needle and I'm going to go right back through that middle hole. And I'm just trying to be careful not to get it through the actual embroidery thread. Like I said before, that will snag it up, and then I just pull tight. Not too tight that it rips it, but tight enough that it's not going to go anywhere. Put it right through that other hole as well. Pull it through. Something just fell. Oh, the Project Life card. Okay, so I know I have enough string here to do the bottom hole, so I really don't need any more of this. But because I can still adjust it, I'm going to leave it attached. If that bothers you, you can go ahead and cut that off. So now I'm going to use my finger trick right down here at the bottom. So right about there. Super easy. I don't fuss too much. When I do make my nice journals, I might be a little bit more careful of where I poke my holes, but for the most part, it usually goes pretty smoothly. So pop that right in there through my cover. Oops, somehow it got jiggled. There we go. And just make sure you hold on to that tail. Pull, pull, pull. And right through the bottom. So it's super easy. And I just thought I would pop on here, you guys, share this with you so you could take a look at it here once we're finished. I'm going to make sure I pull that. I still have my little tail here, so I have quite a bit of string left over, which is fine. Not a big deal. And I'm just going to take that underneath the top Now I'm going to take my needle off. I don't need that anymore. And I pull it pretty tight. I'm going to hold it with both fingers and I'm going to give it a good snap here. So the top one is a little bit loose, so I'm just going to pull a little bit more, crisscross it. And then I always like to do 2 or 3 knots with mine. So there's a 1. And then I go back and I go the opposite way. And 2. And then we're going to do 3, just for good measure. 3. I pull my strings down and now I will finally cut. And you'll see how much of a waist that I have here. So I just take that off. So this is still connected all right here to my big pile that my 2-year-old tangled up for me. And this is the little piece that I have cut off, which is not technically wasted. It's still a really good length. We can add that to a tag. So there we go. Take my clips off and plop them back in the jar. Let's have a look. So when you're opening this up and having a play with it, you have this beautiful Paris page. And then I added some nice texture on the side. I've got lined, copy dyed lined paper. And then I've got some copy dyed blank paper. We have Folio with a key on there. And in the background, you can kind of see the butterflies from the other page when I was printing. This does have white lines on it. And then there's the beautiful butterflies. I love butterflies. Plus there's one right down here in the corner. And then we have the lined paper. And then we have the copy dyed paper. And then finally the middle signature. So it's not that exciting of a little journal folio, but I wanted to add just a little something extra to my fake journal. So thank you guys so much for stopping by and taking a peek. I hope you are having a great day, and we'll talk to y'all really soon. Bye, everyone.